All right, so with less than 1 week away from CES, I want to share my thoughts on what I'm most excited to see from the manufacturers at CES. Now, last year's CES was incredibly boring if you were a drone enthusiast, but this year's actually shaping up to be pretty good. Stick around. Even with the new drone laws that are coming out, it still seems like the drones are just coming full force this year. We're going to be seeing some incredible new products, but you know what's funny? Out of all those products, nothing was mentioned from DJI. But let's get into my list of what I'm most excited to see from CES. I'm gonna start off with probably the most obvious, and that's Autel Robotics. Now, Autel's been sort of teasing the Evo 2 for a little bit now. We saw the FCC images of the Evo 2 and some proposed specifications. And just a couple of days ago, they went ahead and released a video, a teaser video for CES, along with a photo that they posted to Instagram, sort of teasing the top of the Evo 2. Now, there's still not a lot confirmed or known about the Evo 2, but some of the key specifications that we've known for a little bit now are the resolution sizes. So 8K and 6K respectively is what we can expect out of these cameras as max resolution. There should be 3 different camera sensors from the Autel Evo, including 1 thermal sensor, for a total of 3 gimbals that we could expect from the Autel Evo this year. Along with that, it comes with more flight time of 40 minutes of total flight. Also, improved range is to be expected as well, along with better obstacle avoidance. Beyond that, a lot of it's really unknown. For the better half of the year, we've sort of danced around this. I've asked them directly, and I was actually probably about 1.5 feet away from one of these units while I was at commercial UAV. It was in a black box, couldn't see it. We did see it fly. It was the thermal unit. So I do know they exist, and I'm sure Autel has positioned themselves to not have a repeat of the Evo 1. Another company that's going to be out at CES, and I'm actually going to be doing a dinner with them, is X Dynamics. Now, X Dynamics produced a drone that, while it looked incredibly beautiful on the outside, it was a flop on the inside. That was the Evolve drone. This drone, it sort of pains me because it was such a beautiful drone. When I first saw it at CES, I fell in love with it. I was enamored with it. But then when I got it in hand, it was a whole different animal. I really tried to like this drone, but the more I flew it, the more issues I found with it. And then eventually, I think X Dynamics realized that the opinion of this drone was not sitting well with the drone enthusiasts, and they took them all back from us and went back to the drawing board. So from a year ago to now, they've been working on the Evolve 2, making tweaks to it to make it more pilot friendly. We've got a new controller. Micro Four Thirds camera is coming out. That was a big gripe that a lot of people claimed. They didn't like the camera on the Evolve, and I could sort of see how that's a reality. So we're going to see the Micro Four Thirds camera, improved range. They are talking 2.5 miles. I know it's not anywhere near DJI range, but that's not really what this drone was designed for. Along with a new body design. It's somewhat similar, but they seem to improve the landing gear. I had some problems with the landing gear on the Evolve, so it looks like they've addressed that, along with improving the obstacle avoidance. But we'll have to see it in person to really make an assessment and whether or not they improved the things that we had so many problems with the original drone. The other big problem with the Evolve was it was really expensive, and you just couldn't really justify purchasing that over, let's say, something from DJI or even Autel. Another company that is set to possibly release a drone at CES is Insta1. Now, if you know Insta1, they make 360 cameras, and they make really great 360 cameras, some of the best on the market. And some of the original employees that founded Insta1 actually came from DJI. So there are some drone lineage roots at Insta1, which means that if they do make a drone, it could be for some incredible footage. We've already seen what 360 cameras can do when mounted on a drone with a third-party accessory. Imagine what they can do if it was actually fully integrated with a drone as a first-party camera. I think it could be a match made in heaven, and I, for one, am really excited about seeing what they can do with that. Now, I'm not a huge fan of 360 footage, but I think combined with the right software or the ability to shoot certain angles and stitch it before you bring it back to your SD card would be huge. All right, so I know the 1,000-pound gorilla question in the room is, what about DJI? You've talked about all these other vendors and manufacturers, but what about DJI? Well, up until recently, we've heard nothing. It's been crickets from DJI's camp after the Mavic Mini release. Now, DJI notoriously has a track record of putting out an event just a couple of days before CES, typically to steal the limelight. We saw what they did with the smart controller. It was already out and in the hands of many well before CES. Now, I fully expect there to be a Mavic 3 at some point this year, but I don't think we're going to see it at CES. I don't think DJI necessarily was expecting that Autel was going to show up to CES with a drone, because Autel waited till the last minute before they put their hat into the ring, which I don't know if that was by accident or strategy, but either or way, I don't think DJI was expecting that. And right now, I do feel like Autel is sort of DJI's really only close competitor in the market for, portable drones. But Mavic 3, I don't think we will see at CES. If you were hopeful for a new release, I just don't think it would be there. Something that I could potentially see being announced at CES would possibly be a successor to the Crystal Sky. That would seem more adequate, and some would suggest that something like that is already in production, because the smart controller was a great addition to the lineup, but it only works with the Mavic drones at this point and the Phantom 4 2.0. But beyond that, it's very limited. So it would be great to see an enterprise solution like a Crystal Sky 2 with updated specs, hardware, resolutions, and brightness. But I don't even know if that's something that they're going to bring to the table. They're obviously no stranger to bringing the same thing that they always brought, years prior or showed off previous in 2019. And just like every year, there still will be a huge crowd around their booth, even if they are showing off the same tech that we were introduced to in 2019. But let me know what you are most excited about seeing at this CES. I have 3 full days at CES, actually 4, Tuesday all the way till Friday. I'm going to be going around interviewing some of these manufacturers and understanding a little bit more about the products and what they are bringing to the table this year, along with trying to find some of those dark horse drone companies that we don't already know about today. But let me know in the comment section below. I'll be in there hanging out for a little bit. But as always, stay original.